Joining us by phone to talk about what is happening in New York State is Governor Kathy Hochul. So, Governor Hochul, thank you for joining us on the phone this morning. Your first time calling in as governor, and I'm sorry we're talking about a storm here. But how is the cleanup looking throughout New York?
Well, thank you for having me on and for providing so much information to everyone in the community right now. It's really important that people know what's going on. The cleanup has been underway. One of the most important things we're doing is assessing damage and making sure there's no further loss of life. It is absolutely tragic that people who thought they were safe in their own homes succumb to the raging floodwaters, and our hearts go out to their families. So we're assessing any other areas where help is needed, but also the subway system, the trains. We are having limited service right now because we literally had people, transit workers, through the night assessing the damage, making sure we're pumping out water, ensuring that the system is not compromised before we allow riders to go back on. And I do want to give a shout out to the bus operators who through the night had to do extra duty to transport people safely who had been stranded. And, just once again, all the first responders and people from the city and the neighboring counties and the state workers just did an amazing job under horrific circumstances. And to all New Yorkers who stayed safe and, listened to our messages, I appreciate that, and we're going to restore service as soon as humanly possible.
Governor, we're looking at video right now of cars just simply abandoned on the roadways. People were stranded in the high waters. Unfortunately, we have multiple deaths because of the flooding. What kind of help is being provided to families in need right now?
Well, we are literally going out and, we have our teams on the ground working closely with the city to find out, where the need is greatest, how we can help people, get them to safe areas, and to talk about, the human calculation is what's most important right now. Then after this phase, we'll be doing a major storm assessment with the FEMA teams to see whether we meet the threshold to receive federal dollars. But right now, it's all about making sure people are safe, that we get the streets cleared, we get the subways pumped, and we restore service and some sense of normalcy. As much as the sun is out and it looks like we're back to normal, it's going to take some time to assess the damage and then deal with the damage.
Especially with some high tides, too. Governor, you declared a state of emergency. As you start to assess the damage, can you explain what that actually means for New Yorkers who are going to need some financial aid in terms of recovery, and where you're seeing perhaps the greatest damage? We know the largest loss of life seems to be in Queens so far this morning.
Queens and Brooklyn have been hard hit. We still have areas without power, and it's better than it had been in the middle of the night. It probably peaked around 50,000 homes without power in New York, but we still have about 4,000 without power in the city and more in the neighboring counties. So we're continuing to monitor that situation and work with the power crews to get the utilities back on so people can get their heat or air conditioning on, depending on what the weather's doing. It's been so much in flux lately. So we're looking at all this to find out what assistance we can provide to people. We want to be there to let them know that they're not going through this alone. We're there to help. But in terms of determining how much the damage is, we have to hit a threshold of $30 million overall, and that's why we don't have those numbers yet. We need to add up all the damage and what local counties and the city has done before we can apply for FEMA money. But we have state resources and teams on the ground right now working to assess and be helpful wherever we can and help people get through this and hopefully put this behind us. But it also is a reminder of our incredible vulnerability to the weather, and to make sure that we continue to build additional and have additional investments in our infrastructure, additional pumping at the subway stations, ways to barricade so the water does not flow down into the subways the way it has. And we did make a lot of progress after Sandy. We did a lot with our coastal areas, but what's happened is that the higher elevations are now getting flash floods, and so we have to shift to looking at what's happening on the streets, how we rebuild the street drainage to make sure that they have the capacity to handle what's going on so the water does not overflow into the subways.
Governor, very quickly, are you going to be touring yourself some of this damage so you can see it firsthand? And if so, where are you going today?
Oh, yes, we'll be announcing that schedule very shortly. We anticipate we'll be out there with the crews probably around 10 a.m., maybe somewhere between 10 and noon. We're just setting up the exact location right now and working with Mayor de Blasio in partnership to really get people through this, and then we'll give an assessment of what's going on. But this will be my preliminary assessment. Those who know me know I'm going to be asking some tough questions to find out did all of our systems work? Is there anything else we could have done? And then report that to the public in the near future.
Yeah, we saw you asking those tough questions already with the MCA the other day with that failure in the system. Governor Kathy Hochul, appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule this morning to update our viewers. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, Governor.
Thank you. Okay, bye-bye.
Absolutely.